Hi, I'm Matt from the Endurance Store, and I'm here today to talk about forefoot running. This is the second video we've done on forefoot running, and the first video we talked about the differential in the running shoes, and today we're going to talk about running technique. If you haven't seen that first video where we talked about the differential in the running shoes, then if you click on the link on the left hand side of the blog which says video tutorials, you'll be able to watch that before progressing onto this video. So we always encourage people to run forefoot because we think it gives better performances. If you want to change your running style from heel striking to forefoot, the most important thing is to change your running technique. Choosing the right shoe comes second. So changing your running technique will have a bigger impact on whether you're a heel striker or a forefoot striker rather than your shoe choice. However, if you are wearing the wrong shoes and you are trying to change your technique to run forefoot, then that certainly doesn't help. So the shoe can be a really valuable tool to help you run forefoot. So at the same time, we're not saying if you should buy a forefoot running shoe, your style won't automatically change, you won't automatically become a forefoot runner. You really have to work to change your technique. But if you've got the wrong shoe, then that shoe will work against you. So with regards to running technique, we think there are two main types of runners, and we categorise those as bouncers and musclers. So bouncers are people who forefoot run, and they use the natural elasticity in their tendons to give them propulsion when they run. Now the thing with bouncers, because they use their tendons and the elasticity in their tendons specifically to give them propulsion, tendons don't require much oxygen and they have a very low blood flow. So as a consequence of that, if you're a bouncer, you don't really use a great deal of oxygen, and that means that you've got really good economy. Musclers, they don't use their tendons to bounce and provide propulsion. Musclers use their muscles to mechanically move themselves. Now muscles have a really good blood supply and they use a lot of oxygen. So musclers, they tend to have quite poor economy because they use a lot of oxygen to run at any speed. Okay, so if we look at the technique that we see exemplified in the bouncers, there are four key things that we're looking for. That's contact, cadence, coordination, and core. So contact refers to the foot contact. It should be forefoot. There should be an elastic spring, and also the contact time should be minimum, so the foot doesn't stay on the ground very long. So there's a very rapid contact, stretch, and bounce back off the floor. With regard to cadence, cadence refers to how quickly your legs move and how far you stride. So a shorter, quicker cadence tends to promote forefoot running more than a longer, slower cadence. With regards to coordination, this is where the nervous system is really important with regards to quick running. If you can't coordinate your legs to move at speed while still remaining smooth and efficient, then that results in a large increase in oxygen usage, which means that you become an uneconomical runner. So if your coordination is trained effectively, you can move your legs really quickly, it looks very smooth and very efficient, and that's one of the key traits that you see in a lot of elite runners. The final aspect is core. And if you imagine your body to be like a car, in that you've got a chassis with wheels attached, well, your legs are like the wheels. They're the things that go around and make you move, but the chassis is the thing that holds the whole car in place. So if you've got a really weak chassis, when your foot hits the ground and you want that light forefoot strike with minimal contact time, if your whole chassis collapses due to the impact of your foot and the pelvis gives way and the spine twists and distorts, then you're not going to be a very effective runner. So now we've introduced the 4 C's, we're going to focus on the first 2. So today we're going to look at contact and we're going to look at cadence. With regards to coordination and core, we'll look at that in our next video, which will be part 3 of barefoot running. So comparing the 2 video clips at 82 strides per minute and 90 strides per minute, there's 3 key things we've picked out on the slides there. The first one is when the foot makes contact with the ground, is the knee bent or is the knee straight? So if the knee is bent, it helps to absorb shock, but it also allows you to store elastic energy in the tendon which passes over the front of the knee. If your knee is straight, you can't store elastic energy, and it also sends a shock straight up the leg and up through the body when your foot makes contact with the ground. Second thing we looked at is when we make contact with the ground, is it hitting with the heel or is it midfoot or forefoot? And you could see a real change between from heel striking through to more midfoot striking. And the more you progress towards midfoot and forefoot, the more likely you are to store elastic energy, the Achilles tendon, which will give you that bounce and the propulsion to assist you. And then the final thing we were looking at is when the foot strikes the ground, whereabouts is it in relation to the centre line of the body? So it is ahead of us or is it directly underneath the body? If your foot strikes the ground and it's ahead of you, then it always acts as a brake. And this is a sensation you get when you're running downhill because your foot is always ahead of the body. If the foot lands underneath the body, you're removing that brake, and what it's allowing you to do is use the natural gravity to assist your forward momentum. Now, in the videos that I've just showed you comparing 82 to 90 strides per minute, I didn't try and alter my technique at all. What I did was just change from 82 strides per minute to 90 strides per minute and ran how it felt natural to me. So there isn't a need to change your technique as such, just something as simple as changing your cadence will naturally bring about different technique and an improved technique. So there are no gimmicks, there are no tricks, and no animals were harmed in the making of this film.